What, Rabbi Wilhelm? It's so nice to see you meditating in the woods. What can you tell us on Rosh Chodesh Adar to inspire us, to infuse us with some happiness? Mishanichnas Adar Rabbi Mesimcha. Purim is around the corner. Tell us something.
Betsy, does this look like the woods to you?
Yes, it does.
When you schlepp me out to the cold, to the freezing cold here, I wanted to do it inside.
That's the whole purpose of what we're doing. We're trying to warm the coldness. We want to thaw the ice.
In your life, the whole purpose of what you're doing is you should get your way. That's stop that already. You don't have to get your way.
We're trying to get Hashem's way.
Oh,
All right. Anyways, this week's parsha is Parshas Pekudei. It's the siyum of Chodesh of Chumash Shemois, and obviously a lot of people have questions why the same thing keeps being repeated in Teruma and the Tzava and Vayakol Pekudei. Obviously, it has a very important lesson to how we're supposed to live our life today, because, and especially in this week's parsha where it's a grand finale. Today's Chitas, today's Friday, today's Chitas, it says, Hukam HaMishkan, finally it got put up. And it says a beautiful, in Chassidish Sfarim, it's mentioned that until now, for 7 days, Moshe Rabbeinu was practicing, taking it up, putting it down, putting it up, putting it. What was the significance of up and down, up and down? Moshe Rabbeinu was teaching us the Mishkan is not going to last forever. The Beis Hamikdash Rishon, the Beis Hamikdash Hasheni didn't last forever. And you should know, Sheva Yipol Tzadik V'Kam. When it comes to your own personal Beis Hamikdash, you're going to have struggles. It's going to collapse, Rachman al-Islan. You're not going to have a good day, but you always have to come back next day and do it all over again and rebuild it. That was the lesson that Moshe Rabbeinu taught us during the Shivas Yimei HaMaluim. Up and down, up and down. You fall, you get up, and you start all over again. It's interesting to note that it wasn't done yet until they brought everything to Moshe Rabbeinu. And as again, today's Chitas, Moshe Rabbeinu picks it up and establishes the Mishkan. And it's final. You look in the Sefornu, he says something beautiful. He says the Mishkan was placed first, and then the Karashim and the Adonim, the bean. That's backwards. The Mishkan is on top. The Mishkan is the Urias on top. What's a hanging over? What's a standing if there's no Karashim and Adonim? So the Sefornu says it was a nest. It was a big nest. What are you walking around like making covers around me? The Sefornu says it was a big nest. And Rashi says, Moshe Rabbeinu says, how am I going to do this? How am I going to build a Mishkan? It's this great house of Hashem. And Hashem says, you just put your hands, and it's Hukam HaMishkan. The Mishkan was built. A person has to just do his part, and the Eibishter built it for you. Now, it's interesting that Moshe Rabbeinu, when he sees what the Yidden brought to him, he gives them the bracha. He says, "V'hi noyam Hashem Elokeinu alei u'maisir deichem." That the Eibishter's blessing should the Eibishter be pleased with what you're doing, with the u'maisir deichem. And that's when the Shechina dwelled on the Mishkan. So there's a beautiful touch from the Ksav Sofer and the Beis Yisrael and the Beis Yisrael of Ger. First of all, it's interesting to note that today's days you'll see a lot of Hasidic Kreisen, they say the Vihinoyam before they make a mitzvah. Before there's a special mitzvah, they say this Vihinoyam. By Moshe Rabbeinu, by the Mishkan, it was Farkeret. The Mishkan was done, he gave this bracha Vihinoyam. What's the significance? Yehiratzen shetishra shchina b'maisei yadechem. What's the Yehiratzen? So the Ksav Sofer learned Pshat. Yehiratzen. Let it be the will of every Jew from now on. What's the will? What is your bakasha? Not to be a millionaire. Your bakasha is shetishra shchina. I want the shchina to come in all my work. That's the first thing. Yehi ratzin. That the bracha is that every Jewish person's will should be that I want shchina. And then the Beis Yisrael of Ger says that the shchina should dwell b'maisi yadeinu, b'maisi yadechem. Not only in shul, not only in yeshiva and koilel, over there you feel shchina. The Moshe Rabbeinu's bracha is that the Shechina should be felt in your house, in your mundane life. And when we do that, we are megala the Shechina in the whole world, until it will be V'haya Hashem lemelech al kol haaretz b'yomahu yiyah Hashem echad u'shmo echad.